again, I really liked the book, but as I've mentioned before, I don't read books written by men.
Right.
Hello, my name is Claire.
And I'm Molly.
And this is
Book
Book Stupid.
Stupid.
Ooh, I liked that.
It was kind of reading rainbow.
Yeah, which is kind of, that's our brand.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Wait, have you guys heard that we didn't have cable and we watched PBS?
We really suffered, but now we have great vocabularies because of it, probably.
Yeah, suck it, nerds. Whatever.
How have you been?
I've been good.
Yeah.
I've been abroad.
Yeah, and I could tell you smell very French. I'm kidding.
Rude. I have been smelling French. I made the grievous error. I was traveling home, and it's always longer on the way back when you don't have those tailwinds. So it was like almost an 8-hour flight, a 7-hour flight.
Okay.
Back from Paris, and I was wearing jeans from like the day. Yeah.
That's brutal.
And now I'm still wearing those jeans.
You haven't taken them off.
They don't come off anymore.
Sisterhood of the traveling pants, but it's just you in those pants.
Because no one wants to be my sister. I like kind of uncrossed my legs at work today, and I was like, oh.
There was like a cartoon green thing of steam.
I'm like Pepe Le Pew. Yeah, it's not great. It's not great.
Did you ever think about changing into a sweatpant during your flight? Do you ever think, you don't go into the bathrooms on planes?
I try my damnedest not to. Thank you for knowing that.
Of
Thank
course.
you for seeing me.
Yeah. Because I think it's crazy.
Yeah. Like cataloging my mental illnesses. You know how in Europe the carry-on requirements are it's smaller.
Yeah, I know. I got fucked with that.
Yeah.
From Prague.
From Prague.
Yeah.
So I was unable to carry on my little carry-on guy. I had to check it, so I had no access to sweatpants.
That's tough.
I suppose I could have shopped a duty-free
like juicy sweatpants.
If duty-free sold juicy, I would have bought it in a second.
That's true.
When I visited Ashley's childhood home one summer, I think maybe one summer after graduating, or maybe we were still in school. I think we were still in school. Her sister had a prolific collection of matching juicy tracksuits.
That's very cool.
In her childhood bedroom, and it was like 8 of them, and I tried one on, and it was like Sisterhood of the
It was really nice.
It fit perfectly, and I am a 6 foot tall woman. Yeah. It did that gorgeous thing where it just goes under your heel a little bit.
Yeah. That's like, really hard to achieve.
I need to find but it was the real deal. It was from the 2000s, and I was like, how do I
Poshmark?
And they're marked up to high heaven.
That's true.
Because of the early aughts trend that all these bitch Gen Zs are
I remember, did people you went to Catholic high school, so...
So you just wanted to put that on record?
I was just going to say, did people wear I guess, again, we wouldn't know, but a big thing, I feel like...
Because we just wore nun habits.
Yeah. A big thing was wearing your Juicy Couture hoodie as a sweater. So you'd wear a tank top and then your Juicy Couture. I didn't have one, so I shouldn't. I'm saying we
are you just that's a normal hoodie?
Juice had one. Yeah.
Use case.
I guess so, but
you mostly wear zip up hoodies with no shirt underneath and clothes.
No, but just it felt very much like this is my sweater, as opposed to wearing a sweater. You know what I mean?
I was just telling on yourself, you wore cardigans.
Yeah, actually, maybe I am just
No, in your defense, cardigans were big in that
kind of. I think I was always 4 years behind because due to so many things.
And now here we are,
by Catholic education,
a podcast at the vanguard of culture. Yeah, so different.
Well, I'd like to hear a little bit about how France was.
It was quite good. Here is a new requirement I have. I must have baguette and full-fat butter at least 3 times a day.
That makes sense, yeah.
It's good. Someone explained to me that in Paris and I think Europe generally probably, it's 80% fat content in the butter, whereas in the U.S. I think it's 70% or perhaps even lower.
Okay, we're skinny legends.
I know. It's like, but like, then it's probably jammed with like styrofoam.
Yeah,
The rest
it's
of the
just
way.
like our red 5 for fun.
And then like whatever color would balance red to get it back to butter yellow. Yeah, it's iconic. But no, really good butter, really good bread. I need that thrice daily, else I'll perish. And
the girls are oil pulling, not us. I need to oil pull full fat butter.
yeah, so that's good. Okay, here's something I hate generally.
Okay.
This isn't Paris specific, but I do have a Paris specific instance of it. When you walk into a hotel room and they have the TV doing like a pre-recorded like
welcome.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I hate that so much.
Yeah.
It never does not alarm me. I should say it always alarms me.
Yeah, I don't like it. I used to when I used to travel to Miami for work, occasionally, the hotel I would stay in, I would always set an alarm on just because I have a hard time with the morning. I would set an alarm on my phone, and then I would set one through the hotel room.
That's crazy.
And every day, the TV would wake me up with their advertising, and it was always like they had brand tie-ins.
Really?
So I'd be woken up with like Kristen Cavallari. Like a new jewelry line being like pushed by my hotel.
Is that why you always brought me back a little gift from Kristen Cavallari's jewelry? A belly ring?
It was very Miami.
Yeah.
But anyway, yes, I don't like
the Paris hotel that we stayed at, I think also it might have like gone through a few Google Translates, but it was like the bit I remember, it was yelling at me about like fashion, and then it had a bit that went because fashion is capital. And I didn't. It struck me as so odd. I just kept saying it for the rest of the weekend.
Yeah.
Because fashion is capital, and I couldn't tell if they were saying it like capital OL, like it's the capital of everything.
I love that.
Or like capital
Fashion
as
is
like
capital.
Or capital AL, like the currency. Like,
yeah, that is how I read it.
but I wish I could remember the contextual
Like capital
words.
is the or fashion is the or no, fashion is like the currency. Is that what you?
Yeah, but the contextual words literally did not indicate
Okay.
that. It was like style is bedtime and fashion is capital. Like that kind of vibe.
Okay, yeah, it sounds like there was a translation issue.
Yes, I love that. I was in France for a wedding, which, I mean, it was so wonderful and really was like love conquers all. Like I think it drew from maybe 5 different countries.
Wow.
This was a friend I met in New York, but like she's lived in London for the past few years. Like it drew from all these different countries. Like her bridesmaids represented like 3 different kind of sources.
Oh my god. Like, wait, you mean countries?
No, I mean like high school, college, grade
that's
school,
nice.
work.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's really sweet. And I think it was like a wedding that really evidenced like when you pour care and attention into your relationships, like there's nothing that can stop it.
Oh my
There's
God.
no amount of distance or time that can really diminish it.
I think that's true.
Yeah, it was really beautiful. The last thing I wanted to say, so yeah, it was a wedding, and the other thing I'm kind of recognizing as a pattern is I do Shark Tank at weddings.
Oh my god. You do Shark Tank all the time. You've done Shark Tank for a decade for fun.
I know, but I'm now recognizing it is my go-to in meeting new people or just like doing small talk with, strangers.
This is why we're friends, because I love that. I'm like that's like, I think I find, sorry, I'm not trying to, I think I find like a lot of like conversations with people who you don't know very well, like really like tough. And I love like when it's like, just like, let's play a verbal game.
Let's do improv.
Let's literally do improv.
Yeah, I don't know if it charms everyone.
I would have been like, yeah.
But then I got really serious about it, which I think like people are kind of like, wait, I thought we were doing improv. I'm like, no, I've got it. I think this
You're
and
like,
this would work.
we need to go to UCB.
No, I'm like, we need to go to Barbara Corcoran. I'm like, okay, you should really consider attending this conference where we could peddle your work. Oh, and we should do a tie-in with, like, I get really serious about the business plan, and they're like, lady. And then I keep saying I'm in as an investor and a consumer, and they're like, shut up.
Well, this is a game we used to play a lot in college, right? Or post-college? I don't know. We used to play, like, Shark Tank, but we would call it, are you in as an investor, a consumer, or both?
And given that we know he's a listener, we should credit Dan Gerard with really...
He has one of the best... He plays the game really well.
He plays the game hard.
He's yes-anding big time. He's taking it to another level.
But then again, his, I think, most enduring pitch was for a retractable heel.
It's the one I think about the most. He pitched a heel that you would, which I think now...
It existed then. Yeah. It existed as like a late-night shopping channel entity back then.
It was a heel where you could push the heel up and it became like a ballet flap. Genius, I'd say. Genius. We were in as investors, consumers, and both.
Yeah. I guess so, just both.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So that was the wedding. What have you been up to?
Not terribly much, to be honest. Julia and I spent a lot of time together this weekend, which was really nice. We had a very quiet weekend, and
just quiet and intimate.
Yeah,
best friends hanging out. No third best friend to speak of.
On Friday, we tried to watch what did we do on Friday? Oh, we got our nails done, which was really nice.
Yeah, they look great.
Yeah, and then we went and we tried to watch the Phillies game. We ended up watching the Knicks game, which...
Hell yeah, bitch.
Respect to your team.
We got
into it. And then Saturday this is so boring. I don't really have anything to say.
I think it's great. Okay. James is like, no, keep telling her about our weekend together.
Saturday, we went to Soul Cycle, which was very restorative. We had a great...
It was actually the best. Oh my god, you got candle.
Yeah, Jupes got the candle, which if you do Soul Cycle, that's like a big... And
if you were a woman who worked in New York in the 2010s, you know.
Getting the candle is like the instructor noticed you, saw you from across the room, and like couldn't help himself. And from like the he's nice but like mean. Yeah. From like the one you want to be, the one you want to like you the most, Anthony Winters. He picked Jupes, and it was the most packed class. It was like his Saturday 1 p.m. Taylor Swift class.
Oh my god. He only gives candle to the girl putting her full bike-a-see into it.
Yeah.
Like in the front.
No. He loves you.
Yeah.
He wants to marry you. He loves you.
Even though he most often talks about how he was recently married.
Yes. To a man, of course.
Don't out Anthony Winters.
I think he's out.
Guys, he's married.
He's married. Yeah. Then after Soul Cycle, we were like, we'll give ourselves the rest of till 6 p.m. to clean, which I desperately needed to do because I've been living in like filth for like months. So that was really good. And then we went to this we literally were dating this weekend. We went to a gorgeous sushi place, and then we went back to my apartment. And and we played we put our dating apps up on my TV, and we ate so much delicious snackery, and we swiped around and we messaged people, and so nothing really came of it, but we had a good time. And then we watched an Italian show that Jupes put me on to. And then on Sunday, I went to the Phillies game, of course. Which was great. I literally can't get into it because I won't stop talking about it. But it was a great game. And
did you watch it solo or did?
No, my parents went to.
Nice. I just got a snap of you drinking a large cocktail alone.
Well, okay, so I got there, and first of all, I took a really early bus because I ran out of money. So I didn't. No, I didn't run out of money.
Are pretty expensive too, though.
The face you gave me, I was like, no, I have money.
I'm recalling how much we paid for a bus out of Philly when I went to a game with you last.
Yeah, we did. Well, that's because we like waited till. That's because we're idiots. We waited till we were like literally boarding the bus.
That's not. I mean, we were fleeing the city.
we were trying to get out
after many incidents. Yeah.
No, it was like a $30 ticket. But I fell asleep so hard on that bus.
That's perfect.
That's really all I have to say about this weekend, though.
Yeah, me too. But we've been consuming, haven't we?
A lot.
I can start.
Okay.
I have been doing a lot of reading. That was the media most available to me in my travels. Yeah. And you know I'm a plane reader. That's how I make the hours fly by.
Yeah. I see what you did there.
Yeah. And I know you said you were rereading Beach Read.
And I still am.
Which is your favorite Emily Henry. Yeah. And I took it upon myself to reread Book Lovers, which is my favorite Emily Henry. And I'm fearful we are each kind of replicating our favorite Emily Henry.
You know that's my biggest fear.
Of course I do. Yeah. No, I don't think replicating, but I was like, oh, like my favorite romance book has so many of the same
things
that I'm looking
I don't know. I think yours is very different.
Yeah, definitely, and like major plot points. But okay, here's what I want to say about Book Lovers. It is a New York novel.
Yeah.
We spend all of probably 10 pages at most, 10 pages in New York.
Yeah, that's true.
Otherwise, you are in Sunshine Falls.
Yeah.
North Carolina. Near to Asheville.
Just a place you in reality here.
But it is a New York novel.
Yeah.
She just like the two main characters are like not happy if they're not in New York.
Yeah. It follows them to Sunshine Falls.
Yes. But they spend so much time talking about how like New York is in the fabric of their identity and you know, it's really core. The city itself is like a character. No, the city is integral to many of their relationships.
And their careers, I think.
Totally.
They're like,
They're like, I'm not myself if I'm not in New York.
Yeah.
Actually, something that kind of jumped at me, because it's paired with a stat I read today. There's like, I hope this isn't a spoiler. It's been out for quite a long time. So
Book Lovers?
Yeah,
I think you're right.
I'm just going to go there. The protagonist's sister is the one who kind of drags her to Sunshine Falls. And the sister is, like, they grew up in New York together. They've lived in New York together. The sister is, like, pregnant with her third kid. And she's souring on the city. She's your classic, like... you know, like, life gets hard. It's hard to have kids there. It's expensive. She's like, I'm done with New York. And she's trying to sell her sister on Sunshine Falls. And her sister will never be sold on Sunshine Falls because she's a New Yorker. But the sister who's leaving is like, when she finally reveals that that's her motive all along, that she, like, wants to move to Sunshine Falls, she's like, I want to get to a place where my kids can have a yard, and I don't feel, like, under the weight of pressure, like, financial pressure at all times. And I want to be in a place where when a calamity happens, I'm not trapped on an island with however many people. And then the protagonist goes, I'm one of those people. And I was like, yeah, wait, me too.
Oh, shit.
Which, like, you're always, like, I think the people who, like, love this city or feel, like, most at home in this city are like, yeah, of course people want to get our ass. Like, a major terrorist attack could happen, or, like, a hurricane could come for us because we're the best city in the world. But it's like,
a hurricane would choose us.
Yeah, but it's like, yeah, fine, whatever. Figure it out. It's worth it. So you don't really think about it. But then I read a stat today. 60%. This was a stat about, like, doomsday prepping.
Oh, perfect.
60% of 25 to 44-year-olds have taken steps to prepare for a natural disaster or major calamity.
Okay, but what are we calling steps? Like,
I don't know.
Getting batteries?
But to hear that I'm in the minority,
getting bottled water,
it did send a little bit of a chill down my spine. I was like, is everyone getting ready?
I have this thought about, like, every 6 months where I'm like, I should get a bunch of canned goods just in case. I literally, like, every 6 months have that thought. I'm almost there.
Maybe we should have, like, go
prepping
bags.
for doomsday prepping.
Yeah, kind of.
I think we should have some level of, like,
even just like a flashlight with batteries.
Right, I don't have a flashlight.
Or, like,
James is appalled. I have my phone.
Totally, and that never dies.
Yeah, it never does.
I also would like to create a plan with my sisters for if we have
How
to
we get out.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we've talked about this before, right? I feel like it's
We
always
have.
been over like 4 drinks where it's like, I'll come to you.
Like totally, yeah. But we should like revisit the plan like you do a
We
will.
should have, actually.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
should like have an annual meeting where we go over the plan
Yeah.
again.
We'll get it notarized by our notary.
Yeah.
Public. Do you have any ideas?
Not that I'm gonna share with these stupid heads.
That's a good point.
We've already told them exactly where we live.
Literally. We're like geocaching.
Yeah.
No, I think that's a good idea. I really, like, I for a while there, I had a bunch of cans because of COVID.
So, like, just to be clear, cans really aren't on my radar as part of
It's
it.
more like, where do I go?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we also have to get stuff. I'm more interested in the shopping part.
You're like a billy goat. Where are the cans?
I need like I'd be like, ooh, do I get a pocket knife with like my name on it?
Oh my gosh, should we get pocket
We
knives with our
should.
name?
We're gonna need like a weapon.
I went to
and I'm not getting a gun.
I'm not getting a gun, okay? I went to a knife store in the Bordeaux region.
And you didn't doomsday prep?
I didn't. And they
Come
were
on.
really cute, too. Like, exactly what you're talking about. You would have loved it.
Yeah.
There was one particularly so suits you. Turquoise handle.
Ooh.
Think of that. Kind of like hippie, but
Okay, yeah, I'm
orange.
seeing like feathers in my hair. Because we're going out west, right?
No, we're going to the Midwest.
Right, we're going, yeah.
Yeah, it's different. Okay, anything else on book lovers I need to say? Oh, okay, here's what I think. First, a word that bothered me in the vein of Cracker Jack. Actually, wait, I'll start on a positive note.
Okay.
What I really appreciated about this book, and here's a question I have but did no research into. Are our favorite Emily Henry books, like, materially longer than her other
Oh.
books?
I don't know because the book we just read,
Oh, there's one. Oh, book lovers right there.
the book we just read was like almost 400 pages.
Really?
I think so. The Great Big Beautiful Life.
Yeah, right. How many is this?
And this
bad
one
boy?
is 377. So I feel like that's
her standard, I
Yeah.
guess. Because it felt like she covered so much ground
yeah.
in Book Lovers, and I know she does the same
Yeah.
in Beach Read. Like, it's both a lot of plot, like actually interesting stuff. It's a lot is happening.
Yeah, it's a very good book.
Which, yeah, it's super propulsive because there's like a lot. It's not just like, oh, and I'm sitting on a chaise
Yeah.
lounge. But yeah, it's like a ton of plot, a bunch of shit's happening, and then you get so much depth across the entire cast of characters.
Yeah.
I learned about and invested in not just protagonist and romantic interest, but her sister,
Yeah.
his mom,
Yeah.
his cousin, the barista, who he previously was engaged to, by the way.
God, the way my brain doesn't retain a single detail
Same.
is
It's like I was reading the book for the first time.
Yeah.
It was great. Now you get like so much depth, and I really cared about the whole cast, and I think that
Yeah.
matters a lot. But okay, that's my positive now.
Can I just say,
Go
I
ahead.
also think Beach Read does an excellent job of that too. I'm still
Exactly.
rereading it, so I'm not ready to give my full digest on it yet. But I think it's a similar thing where it's like such a fleshed out place with so many side characters.
Yes, it's like sitcom writing
Yeah,
more than
it's like Gilmore Girls coded.
Yes.
but not as like jazz.
Ba-da-ba-ba,
Yeah.
da-da-da.
Also, one thing I like about Beach Read in this vein that I literally just forgot.
Depth of characters,
Oh, I think that the family trauma that she gives them
Yeah.
is really good and like
Totally.
unique.
completely.
Yeah.
She's good at that.
Yeah.
Like I really dug what was happening. Like, you've got your main character who lost her mom, and that's like she does grief really well.
Yeah.
But then the romantic interests, kind of like baggage. His family's around, but he's got like an ailing father and a younger sister who fucked off to Florence
Yeah.
and like eloped. But like, I thought his was really compelling.
Right.
Kinda
And you
like,
really, this is something I've been reckoning with, is you really have to give the man dimension as well.
you Unfortunately, yes.
That's what makes them interesting.
Not realistic, but
Of course not.
interesting.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. You gotta go there, but okay, so then now that I've spoken so highly about particularly I love in Book Lovers the relationship between the main character and her sister.
Yeah.
Like, it's just beautiful, especially like, you know, two girls raised by a single mom. Like, you really get the like closeness and almost like desperate like bond of their sisterhood, which is like very central to like obviously why a move would be so traumatizing. But here's where they lost me, and it smacked of Cracker Jack, I'll say that. Sissy. Yeah. Little sister calling main character Sissy.
Little sister calling big sister Sissy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sissy.
no, it's horrible.
Oh, Sissy, don't be mad. It's like Little Women vibes.
I don't know. I'm not having like a visceral negative reaction to it like the way I do about Cracker Jack.
Yeah.
But I see what you mean.
It just always took me out. I don't think I've ever heard someone in modern era like legitimately referred to, especially address their sibling as Sissy.
No, I'm trying to think about
it's like the Berenstain Bears.
I know someone in real life who goes by Sissy, which I think is actually very cool.
Yeah,
like her nickname to everyone is Sissy.
Yeah, what's her name? Like Francisco?
No, it's I think that's I don't know what her real name is. Like, because she's just like Sissy. She's one of my aunt's like best friends.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, actually, I do like that.
Yeah,
that's good. Yeah, so that
I think that's a good criticism, and I don't know. It's just stuff like that like generally in books where I feel like it's like you're trying to communicate a sense of closeness with this like nickname or like some kind of little gimmick where it's like you've actually done so much work there that I didn't need this gimmick. Yeah, and it's like just annoying.
Okay, I think also. It was good level of smut for me, but I want to talk about not smut in isolation, but smut as part of a composite metric that I actually care about most. Because you have previously asked me, like, what level of spiciness is my preferred. I don't think I can think of it in isolation because it's not spiciness. It's spiciness compounded with, like, how much I like buy in on the couple. Yes. Like if I am rooting for them, I actually don't need that much spice.
Yeah. I agree with this point already.
Right. But if I lack like buy in on the couple, then ramp up the spice because it's almost all I'm
like
getting
how
out
else
of you.
are we getting home? Dangle something in front of my face to get me there.
Yeah. But if you have really like brought me on this where I'm like eating out of the palm of their hands. Yeah. I don't care if they just have a passionate kiss. In fact, Pride and Prejudice effect.
That's a great point. In fact, I think sometimes if the couple is so compelling, actually the more smut you give me, I start to be like,
I agree. It's like, why am I watching like my best friend kiss and my best friend's kiss?
It's like, stop being so vulnerable. I liked it better when I just thought you guys were so in love, but not vulnerable.
And now you're fucking like dogs? Stop it.
I don't know. I think it's true that sometimes it's just like the Pride and Prejudice effect of like, I'll kill for a hand flex and a kiss. It's really, I saw TikTok about this the other day that was like, I don't really care about smut. I care about the yearning and the, like, that's what I'm in it for. I'm really in it for 95% tension, 5% release.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And that was very subtle.
I'm checking the next score. And in Book Lovers specifically, like the release I was looking for wasn't like, oh, please, come on, just do it. It was like, please be together.
Yeah, that is specific to you.
Please overcome the
obstacles. Me and Daddy still together.
And listen, guys, they figure it out.
And they somehow figure it out.
Yeah. What have you been consuming?
So I have been rereading Be Treat, as you mentioned, but I'm like slow going. And not because I don't love it, because I was reading the book club book this month, which was Jurassic Park. Shout out to Natasha for picking something a little bit off the beaten track.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, didn't know that it was based on a book.
Me neither.
I had actually never seen the movie either.
Me neither.
So I went in completely blind, which I think was great because I also mostly listened to the audiobook, which we've talked about is very difficult for me because I'm like, a bird! And then I'm like not paying attention. But I listened to it mostly while I was cleaning on Saturday, which was actually perfect because I didn't have anything else to lock in on.
Cleaning is an excellent use case for audiobook.
Yeah. And I really enjoyed it. It was very action-packed, very, like,
was
so
it scary?
unusual. No. I don't think so. No, it was very different from anything I ever read in that it was like an action book. It was like reading The Avengers, I imagine, which is a movie I also haven't seen. But I was like, it was just very interesting. I will say it was slow. It was a slow book. Like we talked about this in book club. The first like 30% of the book, they keep like finding evidence that dinosaurs are back.
Right.
But they're like, what's going on here? And it's like, it's a dinosaur.
Open your eyes.
Guys, it's a dinosaur. And it finally takes like an intern at the lab to be like, hey, that picture that kid wrote of the thing that bit it looks like a dinosaur.
This social media intern needs a raise.
And I'm like, okay, 50 scientists have seen this drawing. You guys need to know what a dinosaur looks like.
Sometimes it takes childlike wonder.
Yeah.
And the eyes of innocence.
So that was a frustrating thing for me. And then also, again, I really liked the book, but as I've mentioned before, I don't read books written by men.
Right.
And so whenever I return to that, I'm just reminded, like literally I'm always reminded why I don't. There are 2 female characters in this book. We talked about this in book club. Laura Dern and her name is Lex.
Lex.
I didn't know there were children in this book / movie. There are 2 children, brother and sister, grandchild to the owner of Jurassic Park. Nice. And the girl, first of all, Laura Dern's character is just, every time she's described, it's like, and she's wearing shorts, by the way, and her legs look amazing. Literally every time she's described.
Oh my God.
And like anytime she meets a new man, the man's like, look at those shorts, huh? To another man, and the man's like, I know.
Oh my God.
It's crazy. And I'm like, this guy like literally has a shorts fetish.
Yeah.
And then also she's supposed to be like this very smart scientist, obviously. She's a biopaleontologist. I don't know. She's whatever. She's a scientist. She studies dinosaurs, what they eat. And she, like, the whole time, again, they're mostly talking about her body. He is mostly talking about her body. But then there's, like, a point where someone is like, hey, you can't do that because you're a woman. And she's like, oh, but I'm a scientist. And you're like, okay, you've been describing your legs for the whole book. Where was this energy for that?
Also, I love how it's not like women can do anything. It's like, I've overcome my feeble...
my period to become a scientist.
As a woman. But at least I'm a scientist.
And you're like, okay.
Yeah.
And then the only other female character is this grandchild named Lex. Again, I've mentioned her a few times. And her whole thing is, which... book club was like roasting me for, her whole thing is that she is addicted to the Mets baseball team. She talks about baseball constantly.
How old is she?
She's that's the other thing. She, in the book, the only age that would be appropriate for the way she behaves is like 4 or 5.
I think she's like 8 in the book.
You know she's not post-puberty because otherwise she'd be wearing shorts.
Yeah, everyone would be hitting on her. She's like...
You can tell she's wearing a training bra.
The dinosaur smells blood. Too far?
Congrats on being a woman.
She talks about baseball all the time. She keeps going. She brought her mitt to...
Oh.
I know. She's so like... Oh, not like other 4-year-olds, girls.
So it's like the adult woman is redeemed because at least she's a scientist, and the child girl is redeemed because she likes men's favorite pastime.
Exactly.
Wow.
And my favorite thing that she keeps saying in the book is, anyone want to play a little pickle?
And by pickle she means...
I guess it's like, I think it's just like playing catch.
Anyone want a hand job? Sorry, no, that's too far.
No, I love that. She is so annoying. And then, like, so yeah, it's hard to know what age she is because she's, like, talking about the myths. But then she literally is so annoying.
Yeah.
The whole book, it's just, like, I will say it gets a little bit tiresome. The fun and games are tiresome because it's like, oh, there's the T-Rex. Oh my god, the T-Rex is back. Oh, we still haven't killed the T-Rex. So, yeah, they're like, oh, T-Rex. And it's literally, like, anytime they, like, almost die. Like, the T-Rex will, like, fully pick her up in its mouth.
The girl.
Yeah. And then... Lex. And then put her down, and she's, like, kind of ruffled. And she'll be like, I'm so hungry. I want a burger. And you're like...
Eat your myth, bitch.
Eat your pickle. I don't care how young you are. Children who are... like, have been almost eaten by a T-Rex, you stop being annoying after a certain point. You're kind of like, oh, I gotta stop bothering my older brother for ice cream. Literally, she talks about ice cream, like, 40 times.
You're crying. You're traumatized.
Yeah, you've wet yourself, and you no longer really care about...
You're ready for a nap.
Yeah, hopefully you're tired. Again, I don't know how old this girl is. But, yeah, that was my main criticism of the book. But it was a really fun read for book club.
Hell yeah.
And, like, just a lot different from the stuff we've read in the past. So it was very fun.
That.
Yeah.
Great choice, Natasha. It was another book club that I missed.
Yeah.
To be clear, but I've been busy.
Yeah, you have.
But I didn't read the book because I knew I wasn't going to make it because I was traveling.
Yeah.
And it did free me to read more romance.
Yeah, I get it.
I'm loving that you're getting this diversity and you're, like,
it was different
new.
and fun, yeah.
I know, but that wasn't for me.
Yeah, no.
This week, I just want to talk about one other book I read. Carly Fortune's latest.
I'm so jealous. I can't believe you didn't tell me that you were reading that. I would have read it too.
I bought it at the airport before
Perfect.
I boarded. And I was done with it 3 hours into my 7-hour flight.
Okay, you loved it.
It was so good. I
really?
gobbled it.
The Carly Fortunes for me.
Okay, so her first is Every Summer After, and that was like, you were like, oh my, you put everyone on.
I had a mental illness reaction to that one.
But I was like, oh hell yeah, this is
Yeah.
great. I didn't have the same like
Yeah.
that you and Aaron had, but
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, this is really good. And then her next is Meet Me by the Lake.
Yes.
At the lake.
Meet Me at the Lake, and that's no. Are you sure?
Was there another one?
No,
in there?
that's the one I
DNF'd.
DNF'd.
You liked that one, I thought.
No, because that's not the one you're thinking of. The one you're thinking of, where it's the forbidden fruit brother one, that's This Summer Will Be Different.
Oh, you're right. I can't remember what happens in Meet Me by the Lake, actually.
It's like, it's that one that's set at the lodge.
Meet Me at the Lake.
It's like the girl goes back to the
I liked
lodge.
that
Her mom
one.
used to. I started
But I
it,
didn't love it. Okay.
and then I put it right back down.
Yeah.
Which is bad, because like, I do like her as a writer. It just, like, it wasn't
Yeah.
it wasn't gripping me, and I gave it a fair enough shake. I got probably 30% of the way in.
Yeah.
But no, I did really like This Summer Will Be Different.
Yeah. That's like, I think that's your favorite, one of your favorite tropes, if I may be so bold.
Forbidden brother.
Forbidden brother. Not your brother, your friend's brother, to be clear.
Nobody.
That's my favorite trope.
It's my brother.
Forbidden brother who is your brother. Not my real brother. That's a joke about incest. To be clear.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so then I guess obviously I have to put God, it's so hard to remember.
Golden Summer.
No, I have to put Meet Me at the Lake fourth. That's last.
Okay, that's fair.
Because I dropped it.
Yeah.
I didn't even finish. Okay, now we're it's tough because here, and I'm gonna diverge from the ranking for a second. Here's what I need to tell you. One Golden Summer is
nervous.
set in the same universe as and picks up the story from Every Summer After.
Oh, fuck me. I have chills.
It is the love story of the other brother.
Shit. I literally have full body chills.
Yep. And
That means I'm going to have to reread Every Summer After.
Here's the thing. I did not know this when I downloaded it at the airport. Then I'm on the plane. flight had no Wi-Fi. I can't look anything up, but I'm like, Charlie Florak. Is that not one of the brothers? And now I'm feeling fucking crazy. And I'm reading the whole book and I'm like, no, this is him.
It's him.
It took me to like again, like 30% of the way into the book until I was like, sure. I was like, no, this is the older brother of Every Summer After. And then I'm like, ooh. And it was, but it is self-contained. Okay, like I could read it with knowing nothing about it, and it like rehashes the points that you need to know through a very different perspective. But it's an entirely self-contained novel, and a really good one at that. But then it's all the more special because it's revisiting that initial IP.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And this is interesting. I read, so she did, you know, you're on a flight, so you're just like, I'll read anything. Like, I read the whole acknowledgments. I read the book club guide. Just paging through. It's like how on a flight with no Wi-Fi, you kind of like pull up your camera roll.
Yeah. You start reading the, like, how to get off a plane if it crashes. The literature.
How would you do that?
The literature they give you.
The seat back. Yeah. It's like you just download that before you go.
Just to have.
So you are a prepper. You're part of the 60%, and you've been lying to me.
Wait, this is a quick. I always love. I don't know which airline. Maybe it's all of them. In the seat back when it says literature only. Do you know?
I don't know that I've ever noticed that.
Oh, I always think that's so funny that they use the word literature. I mean, that's what it is, but
it's like calling like a book on the back of a toilet literature.
Yeah, you're like, okay, guys.
And just as a general note, I think it's so perfect when households do that. Have like little shit in literature.
Yeah, it's like, we know you're gonna be in here a while. Take it easy there, pal.
It's like, I have a phone.
This isn't plain rules.
Yeah, so I did read like the book club discussion guide, the
Ebra, of course,
acknowledgements, whatever, and she, Carly Fortune, talked about like obviously her. Oh, did you know Every Summer After was fished out of the slush pile?
What?
Yep.
What does that mean?
Okay, so generally I think in publishing it's like not like recommended by or solicited by an agent. It's just like sent in there, and without any endorsement, it just like enters the slush pile. Like agents, if you're lucky, like they get to it, but like it's rare to be plucked out because it's a lot of like in Book Lovers, for example, because they're both literary. Like she's an agent, he's an editor. She makes a joke early in their romantic entanglement. She's like, are you interested in some Bigfoot erotica that I've got in the slush pile? So like, if that's indication of what sits there. But yeah, she got fished out, her debut novel, and then it just kind of like,
and she's very talented, I do think.
Super talented. This novel, One Golden Summer, really like evidence.
I do. All of her titles are a little bit like
AI. Right?
Yeah, totally. It's like, you're a great writer. Why are we doing ChatGPT right now?
Totally.
But I mean, it works probably in an airport where it's like, One Golden Summer. Hell yeah.
And then she has the same artist do all of her cover art, which are these kind of like beautiful watercolor.
I do love her cover art.
Me too.
Actually. It's a little different. We've talked a lot about cover art, where it's like it's become very. I feel like you have a strong opinion about this.
Yeah, like I think it's gotten kind of like homogenous, templatized, and it feels pandery at this point.
Right.
It's like, hey ladies, do you need a pink razor? The upcharge is $5. But it is like, you know, jumps off the shelf.
Yeah.
It's an easy way for us to be like, oh, that's for me.
Yeah, right. But I think Carly Fortune's is like a slightly different spin on that, which is nice. It has a distinct style, I think, compared to the other tampon books.
Yeah. And it's an artist she like has worked with for every book. She said when she saw the cover art for this latest, she gasped.
Wow.
She was just so impressed. But she was saying like, first I do want to say like, yeah, she's a really good writer, and it was really clear in this novel.
Sorry, I feel like I cut you off like 4 times.
No. But she said that her Every Summer After, her first published novel, kind of had that like word of mouth, like slow, and then fast. Like it just kind of became this natural hit, I think, because she's a great writer. And then she, you know, really quickly felt that was published in like 2022. I don't know.
Yeah.
But she's like been pretty generative since then, publishing the 2 books.
I was gonna say that's why it took me. I was like, she's written 4 books.
Yeah,
that's really good.
Super generative. And then she was like, I'm doing book tours for my other books, and I'm like at the tail end of a line. There's these two women who've waited, and they're like really kind of stern with me. They're like angry. They're like, justice for Charlie Florek from Every Summer After. And this was probably the tour for her third book. And she's like, okay, maybe I do need to, because she said, like, just like kind of the mounting initial reaction to the book, like, the fans have continued to push for, like, it's IP that really matters to her audience and introduce them to her, and they've never stopped clamoring for a follow-up.
Oh, wow.
On the other brother, because it's a melancholy note that the first book ends on.
Yeah, it
like,
does.
You have the brothers kind of feel like, they're going to maybe be okay, but there's still that
there's
fracture.
A lot of trauma between them.
Yeah, and you do feel the loneliness of the older one. Even though he was a villain in that story in some ways, you see how much pain was there.
And I'll also say, like, if one brother's hot, the other one probably is too, so...
And he's described as very hot.
Yeah, let's, like, dig into it.
Yeah. And then she said she was kind of, like, auditioning different, like, love interests for him in her head.
Yeah.
Until she found, like, a heroine that, like, worked for her.
Oh, exciting.
And it is, like, the protagonist is still the woman. It's not, like, we follow Charlie.
Yeah.
We follow the girl.
Good.
But it was good.
Okay.
And, but I thought that was interesting. Like, she only briefly touched on it in the notes after the book, but I think it must be so different writing from a place where you're kind of, like, beholden to your audience, where before you were writing for no one. You ended up in the slush pile. You were lucky if anyone ever read it. But
totally.
Like, now you're returning to that same, like, IP, those same characters, and now there's so much expectation on it, and, like, you've been encouraged to return to it because people have such strong opinions about this character. I wonder if that does, like, really change your
it's
process.
like the Rebecca Yarros effect of, like...
What?
What happens when your audience brings out their gun?
Well, and you're saying in her case it depreciated.
It made the material not as good. I've heard.
That's weird. Yeah, no, but Carly, I think it was just as good, even better.
Okay, great. I'm excited to read that. It was on my mind. There's another author that I love that just came out. Whatever.
But to return to your ranking exercise, so for my top 3, it's tough because they're in the same universe, and I did realize, because it took me so long to be, like, certain that it was the older brother, I've lost a lot of details from Every Summer After.
Yeah.
I could read it and I'd be like, wow, this is a great book. Never seen this before. So I would say that my number 1, well, it might be the brother one. It might be.
Telling.
And then my number 2 is, what's the brother one? It's The Summer Will Be Different.
Okay.
And then my number 2 is One Golden Summer.
Okay.
They're all ChatGPT titles.
They all have summer in them? It's like...
so hard to parse.
Yeah.
And then my number 3 is Every Summer After.
Okay. And then the last
number
one is...
4 is Meet Me at the Lake by the Lake. I'm not going to get it.
Meet me preposition
at the bottom
lake.
of the lake where I've put rocks in my pockets. Yeah.
This is just... The slush pile thing is interesting to me because I remember the main criticism of Every Summer After when it came out from, like, Book Girls was that it felt like she had plagiarized Love in Other Words.
Oh, interesting.
They're very similar plot-wise, but again, I'm kind of the mind where, like, if it's different enough and the chemistry is different and your characters are different, whatever. But yeah, that was the main criticism, and I wonder if it was just, like, her book was in the slush pile for so long that, like, she accidentally wrote a very similar book.
It happens, yeah. I'm way more inclined to give her, like, leniency there.
Yeah.
Over, like, I'm sorry, but Emily Henry writing The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo.
Yeah, yeah.
It was the same fucking book.
It was very similar.
It was really similar.
Yeah.
Even down to, and this is a spoiler on Emily Henry's latest, but, like, so damn similar, even down to the biographer being hired kind of under mysterious circumstances.
True.
Being fucking related.
Oh, I don't remember anything about any book I've ever read.
It wasn't that they were, like, family related, but, like, the big reveal of Evelyn Hugo is that the author, the biographer that's been hired, is the daughter of the man that was killed.
No, that is very similar, actually.
It's so fucking similar.
Yeah, okay.
Like, I'm sorry, Emily Henry, you wrote a book I didn't even like very much,
Yeah.
but that went multi-platinum, like, among this exact same audience.
Yeah. No, you're right about that. I definitely, I was like, oh, this is a little similar, and I just didn't really like that book that much, so I think that is why I
did like it better than Evelyn Hugo,
For
which
sure.
I just hate. But
yeah, I agree. I liked it better.
But, like, it doesn't absolve you.
No.
Emily Henry.
But then it's like, does it? Are we allowed to kind of...
I guess.
Not
I hold her to a higher standard.
I agree. And I do think she can come up with something more original than that.
I wonder if it becomes even more evident when it hits the screen, because I think Reese is already optioned.
Probably.
Great Big Beautiful Pussy. Whatever the fuck.
Great BBL.
Yeah, like, I am gonna give mine a weird title, because, like, I'm sick of this shit.
Also, I thought the title for this one didn't hit. Great Big Beautiful Life, like, okay. We couldn't come up with something a little more...
Yeah, I don't know. But I guess I feel that way about all her titles. Like, when I'm trying to say mine versus yours, I can't remember which is which. Like, I know that the
Beach
stories...
Read I like because it's kind of, like, tongue-in-cheek.
Mm-hmm.
Book Lovers is a little...
That's also kind of tongue-in-cheek, though, because they're, like,
true.
bookish lovers, and they love books.
You're right.
All right, so maybe justice there.
Yeah.
I'll eat crow on that one. But, no, I'm, like... Once it hits the screen, I wonder, because they're developing Evelyn Hugo.
Yeah.
Rumors are Diana Agron for the
Stop trying
lover.
to give me Taylor Swift mental illness right now. That's so crazy.
No, right? No, right?
There's a part of me that believes Taylor Swift is gay, and
we should say that Siege is a gaylor.
I'm on the spectrum of gaylor, so that's crazy. That's so crazy.
Yeah, no, that's the rumor.
Wow.
But no, I wonder if the girls outside of the book community will be like, hey, wait, why'd I just watch the same show twice?
Well, I think I'm curious if the girls in the book community are like what they're saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think Emily Henry has, like, again, like, protected status.
I
where it's
know.
like she really can't.
And I'm starting to feel like, and
like,
why?
let's be a little.
Let's tear down that
start
woman.
Drama.
She's been too successful.
Let's put her in shorts.
Yeah. Oh, something I want to say about Emily Henry, though. Here's what I think after returning to Book Lovers and recently reading Great Big Beautiful Life. Emily Henry must be tall. I have never looked into her physicality.
She talks about it a lot.
She must be tall, and 2, she must be obsessed with skincare.
Yes, the retinol drop in Grey BBL was crazy. Where she was like, I made a TikTok about this, but like, there's a tropical storm happening, and she's like, time to put on my retinol.
I swipe retinol across my face. No, she does the same fucking thing in Book Lovers. It's like, if there's one thing the Stevens women love, it's expensive skincare.
Okay, go on.
Yeah, go on. And she's writing straight to me, baby.
Love it.
Tall, like skincare. Don't look at my skin.
Don't zoom in on this.
Don't zoom in. Yeah, so that's the other thing I read. But you...
So yeah, I've been watching a lot of stuff. I have one thing I want to talk about. It's 2 things wrapped in one that I want to talk about this week. I went to see Final Destination with Jupes. The new Final Destination. I think I have 6.
Just another romantic date you went on?
Yeah, well, no, with Jupes, Emma, and Ange. And
romance can come in force.
True. And I have only seen I think it's the first. I saw the 3rd Final Destination. Thank you, Jupes. And do you know the premise of these movies?
No, don't.
So it's like, basically, there's like always, I guess it starts with like something bad happens and a bunch of people die. At least this is how the 3rd one starts, except for like 9 people don't die. And then it's like, oh, you tricked death, and death doesn't like when you trick it. So you're all going to die. Like, that's like, death will come for you. But you don't know how it's gonna happen, but you do know the order in which you're gonna die, because I forget how in the 3rd one.
the main character, there's always, well, I don't know.
There's always one who, like, gets it.
There's always one person that has, like,
Oh,
a
no, this is a
premonition.
Final Destination.
Yeah, we're being Final Destination, literally.
They have a premonition, and they see, like, a vision of everyone dying during the event. And then something happens.
Thank you, Jupes.
To prevent them all from dying. I think, like, for example, the third movie, it's on a roller coaster, and the girl, like, gets off the ride and tells, like, these people to get off the ride. And so the 9 of them do.
Because she has the premonition?
Yeah.
Is that always true, that the one with the premonition tries to save others?
Yes.
Yeah.
At least in the 6th one.
Yeah, I've only ever seen the third.
Yeah.
And then they become, unfortunately, also the voice of death, saying, I believe you're next.
Yes. But then everyone's like, you're crazy. That's not going to happen.
I just saved your ass once.
Right. Well, okay, so in in this newest one, it's interesting, like, she's having a premonition, a dream of, I actually thought the premise is, so, okay, let me just back up here.
Okay.
So this is the premise of all of the movies, which I think is, like, so kind of impressive to literally make the same movie 6 times.
Here
like,
we are ragging on Emily Henry. Meanwhile, Final Destination.
This is like
rinse and repeat.
Final Boss. Like, it's literally the same plot, but with like a slightly different big disaster, different cast of characters, different like whatever. But it is the same plot. Everyone dies every time. No, they never trick it. Everyone dies.
And you know, even as you're watching the movie, you're not like, maybe this time.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Like, what I found really impressive about, or like, I was mulling on this during the movie, was that like sometimes something can be so stupid that it's smart.
Totally.
Where it's like, literally, you're sitting there like, oh, well, maybe, like, I don't know. Like, literally, both times I watched it, I was like, oh, but what if they...
Yeah.
And it's kind of, like, beautiful, because you're, like... a small part of you is hopeful that these characters won't die, even though it is the same plot every time. You're just kind of like along for the ride and enjoying it, and it's kind of like I'm like so dumb. It's kind of like a beautiful metaphor for like life in general, where you're like death is going to come,
right?
But you do kind of think you're going to cheat it and like outrun it, but like you never can.
Oh, I love that. That's so real.
Like the movie, these movies are so crazy. They're like people are dying in the most fantastical ways imaginable. There's a scene in this one where a woman falls off like a building, and she's wearing her wedding ring, and it gets caught, and then her whole finger skin meat gets ripped off of her finger bones. It's just like
can't kill you, can
well, then
it?
she falls to the ground and falls through a spike in the ground.
But first, she's made a hot dog.
They just make it like gratuitous. It's like, and then there's one where the guy has a bunch of piercings, and the piercings get sucked into an MRI machine. It's like, it's like, I saw a tweet this week that was like, if you have OCD, you're always living up a Final Destination in your head. It's like every kind of way that you can die imaginable, and I think like the overall, like, again, like these movies are stupid, but like they are smart, because it's like you come out of it being like, yes, death is all around us, you can die in countless unimaginable ways, but like you can't outrun it, and you also can't really like live in fear of it. I don't know,
right?
So I don't know, that just kind of got me thinking about like writing stupid stuff that's actually very smart.
Yes.
And then on the flip side of that, I've been watching The Rehearsal, Nathan Fielder's new show on HBO, and that is something where I'm like, you can write something so smart that it becomes so stupid.
Yeah.
And I think both are like genius in a way.
Totally, yes.
The Rehearsal is so incredible.
Yeah.
I am literally, I was telling, Jupes hates it. She tried to watch, she could not get into it, which I get, because like, you might not like it because it is kind of like Love on the Spectrum-y. That's what Jupes said. She's like, it feels like watching Love on the Spectrum.
Actually, no, Nathan Fielder, I can watch doing his...
Yes,
it's insane, though.
He's an insane person, and like...
But you understand he is like a evil genius.
Exactly. My take from it is like, he is like the smartest person we have making TV, like
with absolutely no boundaries, which is actually so scary.
And like there are a lot of God, it's like, and each time, so I watched all of season 1 like last week, and then now I'm caught up on season 2, and like I read an article about this, but like it's when you think it's gotten the most meta it can get, it takes it a step further somehow. Like, literally each, like, he just keeps pushing the boundary of what is normal, and, like, it's crazy.
Acceptable.
And, like, yeah, legal, even. And you're like, I said this to Juice, but I don't want to ruin it, but there's... The episode that a lot of people are talking about is one where he acts out the life of Sully Sullenberg from birth to today, and I, like, it's been so long since I laughed out loud at a comedy show. I think because I again, life is so hard that, like, nothing makes me laugh anymore. Yeah. And I was laughing so hard alone in my apartment. Like, it's so ridiculous that it again becomes brilliant.
Yeah.
And I've just been thinking about that, like, writing wise.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's a perfect pairing.
Just I don't know. They just felt
for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They felt kind of similar and different.
Deep.
But you should really watch the rehearsal. It is, like, so crazy.
Sold.
Yeah. I can't even, like, explain it.
No. No one really can.
He's just crazy. And also, yeah, of course I'm, like, in love with him.
He is single now.
No. Trust me, every night I fall asleep, like,
Googling.
Nathan Fielder girlfriend. Nathan Fielder ex-wife. He's dating, I think, like, an SNL writer. Or she's somehow affiliated with SNL.
Okay, got it. But divorced.
Divorced. He's so hot. Oh, my God. I think he is, like, so hot.
Does divorce, like, factor into your attraction to older men or no?
No.
No. It, like, literally, you're neutral.
No, yeah, I don't care. Yeah.
You would take on the burden of
the
next
of course,
wife.
Yeah.
You would best her.
Especially if you didn't have kids. It's like, who cares?
Right. Would you be a stepmom, though?
Oh, yeah, of course I'd be great at it. Yeah. Cool. I am just, like, yeah, totally enamored with Nathan Fielder. That is, like, to me, and, like, I'm on, like, now Nathan Fielder TikTok, and I've seen it. The other thing that's so impressive about him is he, like, never breaks. Like,
it's crazy.
It's just, like, so in character all the time. It's actually, like, again, like, he might be a sociopath. I don't know.
I think he is, like, both a brilliant writer, thinker, and performer.
Yes.
He's, like, really got mastery of his craft.
It's crazy. It's so crazy. Even, like, the small things. There's, like, in the show he wears, like his computer on, like, a...
Right, yeah.
And it's, like, even just seeing him with the computer makes me laugh so hard. It's crazy.
I know.
Yeah, he, like, sits there watching people and going, like... It's so funny.
Do you think he laughs a lot in his personal life? Or is, like,
I read, like, an interview, or someone was talking about him, and they were like, no, that's, like, actually, like, this is just, like, a heightened version of who he is as a person.
So he, like, never laughs at a friend's
No, I think he
joke?
does. I think he just has... I think he's, like... I'm just guessing that he's, like, very dry.
Yeah, definitely, yes.
But, yeah, it's just, like, a perfect show. It's so crazy.
Okay, I can't wait to watch.
Yeah. But that's all I need to write. All I do is watch TV and read books.
Yeah, no. I was, like, reading these books, like, no, this is informative to me.
Yeah.
No, I'm just reading a book I want to read.
Yeah.
I got to get back to writing.
But this week is going to be big for me, I feel like.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
I'm going to take to the sea and write.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a retreat.
It's a writer's retreat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we did do an exercise
we
this
did.
week, didn't we?
Yes.
And are we ready to talk about it?
We are.
Okay, well, we gave ourselves the exercise this week of, it was inspired by the panel we went to see at McNally Jackson. They'd given the advice, like, hey, before you get out there, like, querying, or even before that, before you, like, reach out to agents, it's helpful to have easily referenceable or, like, linkable short form pieces that are published. So you can just be like, yeah, here's my deal. Here's who I am. An example of my writing. That's seaworthy.
Yeah.
I've been found worthy before.
Yeah, someone likes me.
Right. So basically they were like, think through what kind of short form stuff you can get published, and that'll be a good tool for you when you're soliciting a team. And so we did the exercise of coming up with, like, a pitch list of short form essays or articles we could write, and then, you know, pitch.
Pitch it.
And actually, did you have publications in mind while you were coming up with your pitches? Like, what kind of stuff?
I had just been talking to my uncle about this, and he was like, I don't know, Shouts and Murmurs was at the top of my, like, New Yorkers, Shouts and Murmurs. And then I was just trying to think about, like, where do, like, normal people get published?
Right.
So I was kind of thinking, like, Modern Love, Tiny Love Stories for New York Times. And, like, I don't know, The Cut, I guess. I don't know if they actually take...
The Cut would be a dream.
Yeah.
No, they do.
And, like, okay, well, a couple of mine are sports related.
Yeah.
So I was also thinking, like, I was thinking, like, local Philly publications, maybe, or, like, Sports Illustrated, I don't know.
Hell
stuff like that. Yeah. Obviously, these are, like, dream whatever, but that's kind of, I just was trying to think of, like, where would these things land.
Completely, yes. Yeah. I think that's the challenge we set ourselves. I was also thinking, like, your classic, like, airport magazine, you know, your Cosmo.
Yeah. That's smart.
Glamour and Style. Yeah, where they do their little, mine kind of skew that way, I think.
Okay, fun.
Yeah, I had McSweeney's in mind as well. I mean,
I had that kind of in mind. Well, I had, like, Reductress titles in mind for my, like, Shouts and Murmurs ideas.
Yeah, exactly. I think those are the same category. And I actually think smart to think through, like, the magazine inserts, like The Cut, to, like, larger newspapers. Like, I know, like, WAPO has, it's, like, The Lily or something. They've got, like, some kind of lifestyle-oriented magazine. It's mostly digital. But, yeah, I don't know if there are equivalents across other, like, papers. But
yeah, but that's something to think about.
Yeah. I did think, like, I'm going to have to find places hospitable to women.
That was smart. I don't know why I'm like, yeah, the New York Times feels...
No, of course, yes. Of course, yes. I just think, like, it was really based on the ideas that were coming to me. Which skew lifestyle, skew women's interests. Yeah. So, whatever. But yeah, no, Modern Love would be the absolute dream.
Did you not come up with a Modern Love idea? I feel like that was, like, I was like, all right, let's start with Modern Love.
No.
But I kind of struggled because I haven't really experienced Modern Love.
No, that's not true. Of course, it can be about anyone.
Yeah.
That's the nature of Modern Love. I don't know if they still do this, but remember how when we were in college, they had the college Modern Love?
Oh, that would have been a good time to...
Oh, every year I was like, I'm going to do it. And then I'd chicken the fuck out. But
it's hard.
But then I'd read the winners, and I was like, I can't write like this.
Oh, I don't. I think that's...
Oh, well.
I think you could have.
But yeah, it was useful to think through, like, what it could be, and we'll shop them around, because we're gonna have to actually do this.
That's the annoying thing, is, like, to pitch any of these places, you have to write a full.
You have to write it.
Yeah. Which is like, okay, I'll pencil that in between having a podcast and writing a book, I guess, and my full-time job.
And being, like, a really big Phillies fan.
Yeah, being a season ticket holder.
No, yeah, totally. And then the other thing about, like, short form is short shelf life. Like, it's very
I had the same thought, because I was looking at, like, Shouts and Murmurs, and I was like, so many of these are, like, around the TikTok bin, like, things that are happening, and I'm like, you have to be so quick to...
Yep.
That's why I found that kind of challenging, to, like, come up with something contemporary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I kind of skewed other directions.
Same.
But yeah. So it's not only we have to do it fast. And well.
Jesus.
God damn it.
I had an idea, actually, not to jump the gun here, but I was like, a couple of the Shouts and Murmurs things that I saw were co-written. And I was like, what if me and Molly tried to co-write something?
We could do that. That'd be fun.
I think we might enjoy that more, honestly.
It'd be like an extension of the pod.
Exactly.
No, I agree. Yeah. We could actually do a Saturday afternoon at Dorian's.
Yeah, that's where we work. Another Upper East Side.
Hey, please don't kill us.
Once again, please don't kill us.
Okay, well, should we get to our list?
Let's do it.
Should
we go one? Should we, like, ping
let's
pong?
do one for one.
Okay.
And, like, varying degrees of, like, even my own confidence. Yeah, I have an explanation,
Put in an hour 20. Just
oh, shoot. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so these are kind of two. I don't know where these go, so just, like, walk with me.
Totally.
This one is very close to my book. Why did no one tell me baseball is the best show on TV? And this is kind of just like, this would be like a thought piece.
Totally.
Drawing parallels between really good TV and baseball.
And like kind of referencing your second puberty when you became a Phil's fan.
Oh, that's actually more the second one.
Okay.
Men are onto something about sports. Watching baseball does make it easier to spend time with your family.
That's very funny. That's just a good joke.
Yeah, a lot of these are just kind of like one-liners. God damn it. This, I'm thinking, this would be the more like beautiful. Look at how it's brought my family together.
Here I am on a bus Sunday morning.
On a bus.
Yeah.
And like life growing up in Philadelphia suburbs, lest I be lambasted.
Love that.
And that's one.
I love a human interest angle in sports, which is
human interest. There we go.
And that is a trend, like bringing the kind of like the human interest aspect to sports.
Yeah,
there's demand for that
for sure. And like I'm Lex with my I'm girl.
Want to play pickle?
Anyone want to play a little pickle? In my head she has a cigarette. Anyone want to play a little pickle?
I'm so hungry. Wait, I'll have a cig.
Also, I'm 4 to 8.
Okay.
Your turn.
Okay, mine are much more just like a wisp of an idea, a concept.
Yeah,
even.
mine are just headlines. So
which loving that approach. That's way more targeted, I think. But my first is people I'd take to Pilates punitive.
I'm on that list, aren't I?
You're not. I don't want to punish you.
Okay.
But yeah, it's.
I love that. That's great.
Pilates is really happening right now. Hard to get a megaformer, even when you're a member.
Yeah.
And I have now had the experience of taking like novices to Pilates classes. It is
the hardest exercise I've ever done in my life.
Yeah. So it would, wax poetic on like what Pilates is, but no, it'd mostly be like a funny list of people.
This is good because you can be contemporary with it too.
I think so too. Yeah, that was what I was hoping for.
Yeah, love that.
Okay,
that's a good shout and murmur pitch. I think.
Thank you.
Okay, this is my modern love pitch, I guess. Okay. I don't even like it. I like my tiny love pitches better. But this one I think this like already exists. But
oh my god, stop being like so reductive about your great love.
It's not love, it's modern like. That's what I would call it. Okay. Modern bad crush. Just like how I got into stand up after a bad breakup.
I love that.
Bad breakup, my ass. It's not a breakup. Yes, the person's not dating you.
We're cutting this. We're cutting it. Cutting out.
Yeah.
I love that.
I think that kind of already exists though. So, but it's something to work with.
It's a very good concept to work with. Sorry, wait. Okay. No, I like that a lot.
Thanks. I don't like it, but it's okay.
Are you gonna write it?
I think I tried to, when you like are going through a breakup and you're like, maybe writing an article will help.
Totally, yes.
So I think there's a draft in my Google Drive somewhere that's probably like would be horrible to reread.
No, crushes and particularly like a heartbreak in the wake of crushes or relationships, like that is some of the best writing.
Oh yeah, you are like you haven't eaten in 30 days, so totally. The hunger, the clarity with which you're thinking due to your hunger is like really sharp.
Totally. I'd return to that draft if I
might. Yeah, who knows?
Dust it off. My second is actually more of like an investigative. It's
okay.
It's like an expose. I'm doing genuine journalism with this one. Okay. It'd be like we're getting to know the handlers. It's the handlers.
Ooh.
Okay. So I know this because I was talent this week. I spoke on a panel. Whatever. But I had a handler because someone to like bring me to the green room, like make sure I was like back and on my marks and mic'd at the right time. But then, so this event was followed by a happy hour and I was talking to these girls who work in events in entertainment. And first of all, they were fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But second of all, they had the best stories. I was like having the time of my life at a work event because they had me howling, like tears running down my face.
Oh, interesting.
But it was such an interesting, like their deal just was like so compelling to me. Like these girls are like scraping it together. Like they're like, you know, held together with a manicure.
Yeah.
But they have adjacency to some of the most like powerful people in the world. Like they're giving me stories about Michelle Obama. They're giving me stories about Malcolm Gladwell, and like it's like this adjacency to crazy.
Yeah.
But then like to be the handler, it's like you have this momentary, I don't know, I clearly like don't have the concept hammered out yet, but it's like you have momentary authority over these, like, but then also to deal with people who are understanding themselves as the talent and maybe like in their day-to-day lives are the talent more often than not, like are used to being catered to and handled. Like people who are used to being handled are insane people. I want to write about the handlers.
And like it's like in Veep how what's his name in Veep?
Oh, Gary.
Gary is like the most interesting character in Veep.
Yeah. You have to like look so put together, but like these bitches are hungry.
Yeah.
And they're fucking scrappy, and they're like mostly surviving on the free shit they like smuggle out of their events.
Fame.
And and you're like hanging out and partying with the best of them. Yeah. But your lives are so divergent.
It's like being a PA, kind of.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. I really like that idea.
I don't know. I was like so enwrapped with these women that I was like, I
like this.
I must paint you.
I like that you went with the journalistic angle. I think that's very interesting.
It's just one. Tell me your next one.
Okay. My next one are my tiny love, and I have like 3.
Hell yeah.
Okay. One that I've just been thinking about is like my nephew. I don't really know where I was going with that. Just like, you know, tiny loves are like basically little poems.
Yeah, and just like cracked your heart open.
Yeah, I don't. It just says about my nephew. I don't know. I didn't have a full-fledged idea about watching baseball with my parents.
Yep.
And these are so dumb.
They're not.
The smell of cigarettes.
Love.
And how it reminds me of my grandmother.
Fucking sold.
Okay, and then this is the last one I had was, sometimes when I'm falling asleep, I think of the person I'll be in love with one day. I thought that could be a nice tiny love story.
Yes.
Yeah. Those are my pitches for that.
That just stopped my heart. You're such a romantic.
I am. Oh my god, it's such a nightmare.
Okay, those are really...
Okay, only one of them I think really hit, but yeah.
Well, yeah, we were like gonna throw up and shit our pants at the same time.
It's actually pretty sad, but most romance is sad, so.
It's not sad. It's... Most romance is sad.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one is like a kind of a puff piece, but I think I've like done the research.
Okay, I love that.
The pain to gain relationship of various beauty treatments.
Oh, I love that.
You know, like a lot of the beauty treatment analysis is like the value aspect. Like, are you getting, because it's all
I love
expensive.
this idea.
No, this is like,
is it worth the actual pain you feel?
We are assessing the pain of the treatment because all of them fucking hurt. And that's the underlying premise that like women go through so much pain. This is my favorite so
far. I think any lady magazine would love this.
Excellent.
Or Shouts and Murmurs. These are all ringing. A lot of these are ringing for Shouts and Murmurs for me.
All right, what you got?
Okay. I need to like stop putting my phone down, I guess. Okay, these are we've reached Shouts and Murmurs.
Your screen time up.
These are my Shouts and Murmurs ideas.
Excellent.
The first one is this. So when I was just thinking about like TikTok ideas I've had or like stand-up ideas that I've had that never made it to print. Credit card spends 4 beautiful weeks at the bar. And this is kind of like a humor piece about leaving your credit card at the bar, but it's like taking your kid to camp, kind of.
So funny. CJ, I love that. That's great.
Okay, all right, yeah.
That's so good.
That was a TikTok I've been meaning to make for about a year.
That's so fun. Make it a long... You can do both.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, my next is kind of a riff on trad wifery and the very scary state of American education, but it'd be humor in the dark. Homeschooling curriculum proposal, what I would teach.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Okay, fine. That is very contemporary.
Oh, thanks.
Okay, help. My nephew thinks I'm my parents' third wheel.
Oh, that's so funny.
Because this is something that's been happening recently, is like nephew will call my parents and then be like, "Where's B?" Like he thinks I'm always with you, them, right? Which is upsetting to me.
He's adult sonning you.
Yeah, like everyone else has their. Yeah. No one else gets paired with my parents.
No, it's just that you're the favorite. You're the beloved.
Don't.
It's a rarefied position to be grouped with the grandparents, for sure.
That's true. Yeah. That's true, because, yeah.
Because, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, again, maybe, like, I lean too hard into the, like, it needs to be contemporary requirement, because some of these are just stupid. I believe that sports gambling is, like, our next great epidemic. So my angle...
I mean, you're not wrong.
No. So my angle on that is, like, what I believe sufficient barriers to sports betting would be. Okay. What I think you should have to go through to place a sports bet.
These are great, Molly.
Shut up.
I'm loving all of these.
What do you have?
I think we're reaching the end of my list.
I only have 3 more.
Okay. I think I've got 1 or 2. This is, again, a bit I've been meaning to write. I'm joining the convent for the meals, the housing, and the female friendship.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I love that. Okay, yeah, honestly, some of these last ones not so great. Okay, so this one is... I've never listened to an episode of the Joe Rogan Experience.
Yeah.
It baffles me.
How many people?
Huge it is.
Yeah.
So this, for me, and I don't think this would sell because it is mainstream, extremely popular, but mine would be like what I think happens in an episode of the Joe Rogan Experience.
No, I think in a place like the New Yorker, where nobody listens to Joe Rogan, that would be great.
And it's like, big enough that people are like, well, I probably do know what happened,
right?
But I don't. I
don't either.
But it is so mainstream.
I think they talk a lot about like vaccines.
I've learned a lot of yeah, right. Like all I know is like they smoke weed. But just kind of capturing what I think happens throughout the duration.
Okay, I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, this was, I don't even know if I want to share this one, because at this point I was just looking around my apartment for things that like. This is so bad. Oh my god.
No, these are the dredges, I think.
Mean Girls, but it's all the kinds of water bottles. What?
I see it.
I what? Maybe it's more like the water bottles as I don't know. Famous actors or something. I'm just shooting for like what will the gays like? What will gay men like?
And there's definitely a there with the water bottles.
Yeah, yes. Yeah.
People are very attached to them.
Yeah. And I don't personally feel attached to water. I don't really drink water, so it's hard to feel attached to the thing that carries it. No. But I do. Lately, I've looked around my apartment and I have like 5.
That's crazy. Gotta catch them all.
Yeah.
I was satisfied by a take on Twitter I saw like a long time ago, but it was like New York is like so a cut above because we are untouched by the Stanley Cup of it all.
I don't have a Stanley Cup. Yeah.
No, because why?
I have like the knockoff.
It doesn't. Yes, it doesn't commute. Yeah. It doesn't go on subways or in a bag. Yeah. And for that reason, because we are not beholden to our SUVs, we're out.
I have a couple of like germaphobe friends randomly. And they put me onto Awala because it's like the only water bottle where like your mouth, well, not the only one, but it like contains your mouthpiece really well. So like when you're on the subway, it's like no one's getting to your hole.
I might order one today.
I actually really like it.
They're super leak proof. So.
Yeah, and it's nice because the best part is that it has a straw that you don't, but it's, I don't know how to describe it. You can both go like this. But then you can also go like this.
No way.
The straw is like built into the
That is extremely compelling to me.
So you can have your cake and eat it too, if you will.
Okay, does it only come in these fruity ass colors?
No,
Sorry, guys.
No, they make them for boys too. Don't worry.
Cool.
I actually don't like my orange one, and I want to get the bigger. This is the bigger one. I want to get the bigger one.
Oh,
I
want your size.
Why do I need another water bottle? I don't.
Oh my god.
I literally don't need another one.
I'm gonna buy one.
I do have you hate this one. I have like the Stanley knockoff, the Simple Modern Stanley knockoff, but that's only for home because again, like.
Right, because you're a New Yorker.
Right.
And you
it's for like by my bedside to take my Lexapro with.
Perfect, yeah. That tracks.
Okay, your turn.
Okay, this one, it feels relevant to our age group. To like we're in wedding season of life. But this would be, and I'd have to do more research because it's actually born of like a friction I have, a pain point I experience. How to talk to older family members or friends at a wedding.
Ooh, I love that. I have a crazy story about that also for after the pod.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Intergenerational gap is really what I've been trying to nail there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Perfect.
Wait, no, I have one more.
Okay, yeah, hit me. Hit me again.
In defense of Candy Crush. That's all I got.
Oh, yeah.
No one's gonna buy that.
You could write a thesis on that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I actually, when I was looking at Shouts and Murmurs, there was one that was like, Candy Crush should be the next app we ban so that we can get our moms back. And I thought of you.
And like, my defense would be, it's not just moms. Okay. It's actually hot,
it's moms and then you and Amanda. Those are the only people I know. You got back on.
We already saw it. Wait, okay. I know I kind of mentioned this in a previous episode. 4 Seasons, the Tina Fey series adaptation.
I don't think we've talked about it yet, but yeah.
Well, okay, so I don't want to get into it, but it's good. Yeah. It's great. Tina Fey adapted Alan Alda's movie 4 Seasons into a show, and it's just like a meditation on middle age and how...
It's really scared.
It's a meditation on middle age and like, you know, a friend group going through it together. And spoiler, sorry if anyone intended to watch it but hasn't. Steve Carell's character is married in the first few episodes, but he's telling the friends like, I'm gonna leave her. He's like, the marriage is dead, all right? And they're like, no, like we're all a friend group. Like, don't. Anne is great. What are you doing? And she's like really trying to hold on to it, but he's like, no, all she does, she doesn't want to do anything anymore. She just plays that fucking farm game on her iPad.
It's a very Facebook culture. I'm sorry.
And like, there's a really sad scene where it's like them going to bed together and they've got like nothing to talk about, nothing. And then she's like, should we try watching like The Wire or something? And he's like, feels a little late for that, or like what, and she's just like, okay, good. And she rolls over and pulls her iPad out, and you just see the green light on her face of and you can tell it's the moment he decides to leave her.
And that's so sad. I love it.
I told this as like a cautionary tale to Mittens. I was like, it's okay that I play Candy Crush, right? He's like, yeah, because he's a phone game kid.
I was gonna say, you're both in bed with your iPads. You both have, it has to be both iPad kids. Yeah, I think
you gotta. Yeah. If you're an iPad kid, you gotta marry an iPad kid. Yeah. So that's all I got.
Okay, cool. I thought that was a very fun exercise. I had a hard I had a hard time with it, but this was fun to do it like this.
It is
to
fun.
bounce.
And we do have to write them. We have to. I know.
Jesus, God, it like never ends.
So we'll add it to the list of stuff we're writing.
Yeah.
Yeah, a week. Listen, what's the most romantic thing that happened to you?
Okay, you're gonna hate mine, because it is how Julia and I keep calling her Julia, had our romantic weekend, but it's a specific part of it.
Okay.
What, do you know?
I have a guess.
Oh my God, stop whispering to each other. Just fucking say it.
Mine is, we went to get our nails done, and like, I had like 3 separate times Julia had to like intervene to tell the nail lady what I wanted, because I was like, I'm getting like hard gel, and she was like, yeah, and then Jubes was like, no, she wants the UV gel. And she like 3 separate times. So we just had and the nail lady, I said to her, I was like, because I was wearing a short sleeve shirt with my tattoo out, and I said, she was like, oh, such a good friend or something like that. And I was like, oh, I know, like, if she weren't here, this tattoo would look insane. Like, if she weren't constantly by my side,
right,
everything about me would look insane.
Also intervened with the tattoo.
Yeah, when I got the tattoo on my arm, it was like giant and like skewed.
79
and I was like,
font.
Looks great. And Jupes was like, no, it doesn't look good.
Run it back.
I'm gonna need you to take the font down and fix the position. And I was like, okay. But it's just like, I think she's such a good friend in so many ways. Yeah. But that you always like stand up for me.
Seriously, yeah.
And like, I don't know, I'm kind of both a baby and also never know what's going on. And Jupes like really helps me in that regard.
Oh, that's so sweet.
And yeah, that's
true.
Love you too. And also, this was similar. I think I already talked about this on the pod, but I lost my keys coming home from my brother's wedding. Jupes had my spare keys, which I didn't even really know she had them, but thank God she did. And then as we were walking home from the nail salon, I found the keys. And Jupes, to her credit, I feel like I would have been like, that's really annoying of you.
No.
But she just laughed.
Like, fell on the floor.
Like, yeah, she laughed really hard, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I was just grateful for our friendship this weekend.
No, totally.
That's my most romantic.
That is pure romance. I love that. And I do need a healthcare advocate.
I need a lawyer.
I'd like to go to the nail salon soon.
And they did a really good job. And this was exactly what I wanted. But the problem, I was like, I didn't know what I wanted, but I knew she knew what I wanted. So it really worked out.
That's perfect. Because she not only fights for you, she knows your heart.
She knows my heart. She really does. So what's the most romantic thing that happened to you this week, I wonder?
My most romantic thing is when we were traveling, my youngest brother was the one to come and watch puppy Hector. We flew him out and said, hey, buddy, it's a 6-day engagement. Would you, stay? And Hector is a puppy, so it's kind of tedious. You have to let him out constantly, and house training hasn't gone perfectly.
He was Hector's handler for 6 days.
He was Hector's handler. And he quickly followed up. He said, best deal ever, sold. And then he so quickly followed up saying, and also, could I bring 4 friends? And my youngest brother is in college. He is in a fraternity. I believe these were his brothers.
They're not just friends, they're brothers.
They're brothers. And I don't know if Hector pledged this weekend or what.
But he seems kind of drunk all the time.
Yeah. And so these boys came too. All that. It was like 4 21-year-olds in our one bedroom, and then the dog. And it sounds...
even though they were staying in a 1-bedroom apartment, where they came from was so much worse. Totally. This was a huge upgrade for them.
But I was actually so charmed by, my doorman keeps saying little things like, those boys were really getting him out there and cheering him on. Or, like someone in a neighbor stopped me near the elevator and was like, your dog walker's really nice. I was like, my brother.
That little guy?
Yeah, but they kind of made a big splash, these frat bros.
Well, yeah. I have 21-year-old boys who are handling one dog. It's quite an
It's actually
image.
The premise of a great movie.
I mean, do you think, the offer you gave him was very, Home Alone 2, Lost in New York?
Totally. Yeah, but it sounded like, and there's a pretty short leash they were on, because you have to be back to let Hector out about every 4 hours. So they were, and this actually really charmed me. They spent a night out on the town at Hair of the Dog, which is where I was going at that age, and I'm 10 years older than these boys. God. 10 years older than Will. I'm not 31.
That just aged me big time.
Yeah, but they were like, oh my God, it was awesome. And these boys were sweet. They left me a note on their way out. They got drugstore flowers.
What the fuck?
Jammed them in a mug with the rubber band still around them.
Thank God they're not listening to Joe Rogan. You
know? No, really.
These are the men who aren't listening. These are the young men who haven't been radicalized.
Yeah. So that was, I found very romantic how they cared for my dog.
What if your brother just hired a dog walker so he didn't have to come home from Hair of the Dog, and your doorman's talking about the dog walker he hired?
I don't think my brother has that in him. Not for lack of willpower,
Maybe
but
next
for lack
time.
of forethought. Yeah. No, and I had given him like your and Joops' numbers as like an emergency contact list. I didn't reach out, but I was like, you know, if like you can't get home in time and you're worried about Hector, it's like they do live in the neighborhood. So what if he hired you?
And I'm not telling you. No, if the doorman said that dog walker was great, I would have been like, it was me. I would have folded immediately.
Yeah, no. But Will's, my brother, is also the youngest, and he couldn't have pulled it off.
I could.
Like, okay, so actually,
yeah.
Same in that way.
Yeah.
All right, can we watch the next now?
Yeah.